Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 900th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. I can't believe that we've actually reached 900, and what I wanted to do for our 900th is to find a memorable and worthy, really unusual and rare battle. And I think with this particular battle, I've found just all those things there, as this is very unusual. And when you see this battle, you'll see what I mean when I say it's very rare and very unusual. You'll see that we're fighting on one of our new custom maps here. As you can see there, you've got the big open plains. Now here's an interesting rock feature here. If you notice that the ground is higher there by the side of the rock, and very often teams tend to fight round the rock there to try and get that slightly higher ground advantage. The last thing you want to do, of course, is to get into that dip there. But there's the other side of the rock is also higher ground advantage as well, and you'll notice that during the course of the battle. So you've got woods on this maplet, so if you bring barbarian troops you get the woods bonus, or you've got the big massive open plains here that you can fight out in the open plains there. So this map's got quite a bit of everything really, and I think it seems to be quite popular with the 31k community. Okay, so our first teammate is Brotherhood member Naacal. Now he's got 13 infantry and 4 cavalry. Okay, 13 infantry and 4 cavalry. Quick look at the upgrades on his cavalry, and he's just got gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry there. So it'll be interesting to see how he handles that army during the course of the battle. And let's have a quick look there. I can't see any eagle units at all. And our next teammate is RTW player Lando. Now Lando's got 10 infantry, 6 archers and 4 cavalry. Yes, 10 infantry, 6 archers and 4 cavalry. And you'll see why he's bought 6 archers a little bit later on. Okay, just look at the upgrades on his cavalry. 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry. Okay, but only 10 infantry. Do you think 6 archers there will make up for just 10 infantry? Well, I guess we'll just have to see. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member JGP, who has bought an experimental Scythian army. Now remember that we've recently introduced rules to give Scythia and Parthia 10 cavalry max, because both those factions' infantry are so poor, no matter how many upgrades you put on them, they're still no good. So that's why we've increase the cavalry level of both Scythia and Parthia to 10 cavalry. And you can see JGP here has got an experimental Scythian army, and he's got 10 cavalry, 6 archers and 4 infantry there. And here's a unit you don't see very often on 31k battlefield, the Scythian axemen. But believe me, no matter how many upgrades you put on these axemen, they're just no good for the 31k battlefield. Those axes are not effective against armor or anything like that. If you notice here, he's got some, I think, warhounds there. Unusual to see warhounds on the 31k battlefield there. So he's bought those. And what else is in there here? And here you have the headhunting maidens. Now when you hear the word maiden, I know you think innocent, a bit quiet maybe, someone that likes to just be in the background a bit. Well, none of those things are these girls. These are the deadly ladies of Rome Total War. Okay, cavalry versus cavalry. I'd say these are the best cavalry in the game. And see those effective against armor axes they carry. That can really make a difference. And as I say, cavalry versus cavalry, I think most people would agree that these headhunting maidens are the best cavalry in the game. They're not so good against infantry, but against cavalry, the more armored the cavalry they fight, the more that effective against armor axe bonus comes into its own right there. And of course he's got a lot of his army hiding in the woods there. So this is an experimental Scythian army of JGP's, and it'll be interesting to see how well he does with it. Now my Carthage army here, okay, we're going to have a little bit of a look at that a little bit later on, because there's a reason I bought this particular army, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit, just a little bit later. But there's our team there. It's got the potential to be a cracking battle, and I really hope you enjoy our 900th. And here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member Mars. Now Mars has got 11 pikes, 3 archers, 5 cavalry and 1 missile cavalry unit. And this is, you'll see why this battle is so unusual when you see the armies in the other team here. You'll see his forward unit has just got gold shield, gold attack on there. And as you move further back into his battle formation, I'm guessing you're going to see more upgrades there. If you notice there, no, that line I believe is just gold shield, gold attack as well there. Okay, but I'm guessing his final line will be, yes, there you go, the final line in his battle formation. If you count the upgrades there, he's got 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack in that battle formation there. And oh my gosh, if you look at his cavalry, 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Remember, we call these guys the tanks of the ancient world because they're armored from head to toe. So that's quite interesting there. See that Seleucid army, and as I say, I think he's got 1 cavalry missile unit there. That's a unit you don't see very often on the 31k battlefield there, a militia missile unit there. Okay, so that's Mars's army. Looks quite effective, especially those cataphracts. Their next teammate is Brotherhood member Barclayman. Barclayman has also got the Seleucid faction, and he's got 3 archers, 11 pikes, 4 cavalry and 2 chariots. If you notice here, his forward unit is a phalanx pikeman. That's a cheaper pike unit there, and he's got 1 upgrade on. I'm guessing that's bronze defense. And of course this unit's going to take the pilers, take first contact with the enemy, so why put a lot of money on it? I think that's what he's thinking there. I'm guessing the rest of his yeah, there you go, the rest of his pikes, 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack on the bulk of his pikemen there. So make no mistake, that's some serious upgrades there. And remember that our guys have got to fight all the way down those pikes to kill the man on the other end. They're saying no tall order. There's a pretty tall order there for Roman troops especially. Oh my gosh, and he has also got 8 upgrades on his cavalry, but he has got companion cavalry, not the cataphracts. Okay, so there's a companion cavalry there. Remember, these guys have got a 9 charge bonus. They're sometimes called the winged horsemen because of those kind of wing things on their helmets. As I say, Roman Praetorian cavalry have got a 6 charge bonus. These guys have got a 9 charge bonus. Remember, the charge bonus is the impact and penetration that a unit can do. And it's also got chariots here. And remember, like we've talked about these chariots over and over again, really good attack specifications. They bring a big fear factor, but if they run amok, they kill both friend and foe alike. And when your chariots start killing your own allies' troops, you can become unpopular quite quickly. So unless you're confident and competent with chariots, I would say they're a real double-edged sword, and I would urge people to really think before you bring them, kind of thing there. But we know Barclayman is good with chariots there. So that's 2 Seleucid factions so far, 2 Seleucid armies. Oh my gosh, a 3rd Seleucid army here, and this is RTW player Yoek, and he's got 14 Silver Shield Legionnaires and 6 cavalry. Okay, 14 Silver Shield Legionnaires, have a look at those. And they've got 7 upgrades on, an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. And if you look at them, you'll see they very much look like Roman urban cohorts. They can form testudo, they throw pilers, and you'd be surprised on how tough this infantry is actually. Obviously they're not as good as urban cohorts, but they are pretty good infantry. And as I say, he's got 14 of them, and he's got his 6 cavalry, and he's got 7 upgrades on, an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. So I think that's a pretty solid Seleucid army there. Unusual not to have pikes in it though, so we just have to see how that goes. And their last teammate is another Seleucid army here, of Brotherhood member FirstPrime. He's got 14 pikes, 4 cavalry and 2 chariots there. Okay, so there's his army. A quick look at the upgrades on his cavalry there. I'm guessing pretty good. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so he's got 8 upgrades on his cavalry, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack, and of course he's got his chariots there as well. So that's why this 900th battle of ours, I believe, is so rare. We're fighting 4 Seleucid armies. And I would just say to you, when was the last time you were in a battle where you fought 4 Seleucid armies? Okay, so the team that we're fighting are all Seleucids. So, as I say, very, very unusual. And I hope it's a memorable battle for our 900th there. As I say, it's unbelievable, isn't it? 4 Seleucid armies we're facing here. All those cavalry, chariots and pikes, and those silver shield legionnaires as well. Make no mistake, this 900th battle of ours is going to be a real challenge against 4 good Seleucid armies. And remember, all the players in this battle are all experienced, really good players. So this should be a cracking battle for you to watch. And I hope, as I say, it's a memorable 900th battle. Okay, like I said earlier, we're going to have a look at my Carthage army here. Okay, now I've got 17 Sacred Band Spearmen and 2 Slingers. Okay, 17 Sacred Band Spearmen and 2 Slingers. And there you go. And just look at the old school, old-fashioned battle formation there. No mistake here, I was using this battle formation maybe 2007, 2008. And I've got mixed upgrades through these 17 Sacred Band Spearmen. But can you see, when you've seen the other team here, why I've bought 17 Spearmen here is to try and take on the Seleucid pikemen. Now remember, Carthage punches above its weight when it comes to fighting the big 121-man units. I've got a couple of slingers there, kind of just to try and neutralise any archers that might try and come around the flank of my 17 spearmen. Notice no cavalry. Now, can you think, well, I haven't bought any cavalry? Well, the reason for that is because I know that the Seleucid cataphracts and their chariots would chop up my cavalry no matter what upgrades I put on them. So I've decided not to bring any cavalry with this army and just concentrate on the spearmen here. Okay, so it'd be interesting to see how well this old army does against all those Seleucid troops that we're going to be facing. Okay, at this very, very early stage of the battle, we've literally just pressed start, and straight away you'll see Lando being his usual aggressive self and moving forward towards the enemy right from the beginning of the battle there. We know Lando's very, very aggressive, and as you can see there, he's certainly being that in this battle. There you are, he's got his 6 archers. You can see now why he's bought 6 archers there, because we're up against the Seleucids, and we know that the big 121-man pike units of the Seleucids are very susceptible to any kind of missile. So 6 archers there can make a big difference against those Seleucid pikes. Okay, over here you'll see I'm moving forward there. And if you notice here on this particular flank, we've got Barclayman and Mars is Seleucid armies there. So it'll be interesting to see if they're going to attack my Carthaginians or whether they're going to move their armies elsewhere. But as I say, at the moment, you can see Lando is really taking the battle to the enemy here, as he always does. Very, very aggressive, taking his urban cohorts there up against the Seleucid Silver Shield Legionnaires there. But you'll see FirstPrime moving some of his pikes in here to support Yoek's Silver Shield Legionnaires. As I say, this could be a real scrap on this flank here. As I say, we know Lando here is showing how aggressive he's going to be right from the start. And if you notice, he's moved his archers over here now to get in range of those big 121-man units of FirstPrime. Obviously, those Silver Shield Legionnaires, his archers wouldn't have done much damage against. So he's very pleased, I'm guessing, to see the Seleucid pikes coming into range here. Okay. So as I say there, you can see here the arrows. If you look closely, you'll see the arrows going through the air, heading towards those 121-man pike units of FirstPrime. Okay, you'll notice here that Naacal has moved from the right flank over here into the centre now. Remember, he was all the way over there. He's now moved over into the right centre. And if you like, Lando is now on the right flank of our team there. And as I say, JGP's Scythian army, he's going to have to be very careful how he plays that with all these pikes that the enemy team have got. But as I say, here you can see my Carthage army there. I'm just watching to see what Mars and Barclayman's going to do there before I move forward. Be interesting to see what tactics they're going to use on that flank. Now here you can see Naacal moving forward there, kind of like lined up with Lando. But it looks to me like he's on a little bit of the lower part of the ground there, and that could give the enemy team a bit of an advantage. But as I say, here you can see Lando now has put his forward units of his battle formation into Testudo there, facing those Silver Shield Legionnaires and those pike units of FirstPrime. But make no mistake, Lando's 6 archers there will be shooting a lot of arrows into those pike units of FirstPrime there. Okay, because there's so many big 121 man units in this battle, there is a little bit of lag. You can see there the headhunting maidens of JGP. He just waiting to get a chance to have a go at those Seleucid cataphracts there. Remember, the headhunting maidens effective against armor axes there. Their bonus gets even more. Depends on how good the armor of the cavalry is they're fighting. Right there, you can see Mars's army there. Now, if you notice here, Mars has got his infantry there, but I believe he's moved his cavalry around to the other flank, and you can see that Barclayman has moved his chariots round to the other flank as well. So there you are. You can see Mars has moved his cavalry round to that flank there, maybe to back up Yoek if they're going to attack. And to say, you got the chariots there as well for them to charge in. Okay, so as I say, I think Naacal there may be on a lower part of the ground. We'll have a look at that a little bit later on. But here you can see both FirstPrime and Yoek there moving towards Lando's SBQR army. A lot of pilot exchanging going on there. And as I say, those 6 archers of Lando will be shooting a lot of arrows into the pike units of FirstPrime. Okay, but over here, as I say, you can see that it looks to me, if you look at the ground there, does it look like the enemy may have slightly higher ground? Right, can you see that Naacal's running a couple of his, well, 3 of his infantry units forward? Yoek can't resist, look, and bang! As he charges his cataphracts into those units of Naacal. Now, are the rest of the Seleucid cavalry going to come in there? Barclayman's and maybe Mars's cavalry, are they going to hit in there as well? Just look at that for fighting. I mean, that was a very aggressive move there by Yoek, wasn't it? And there's some more infantry coming in of Naacal. Now just look at the other enemy Seleucid generals there lining up their cavalry and chariots there. Are they going to charge in there to help Yoek? It'll be interesting to see. As I say, if you look at the ground there, can you see that the enemy have definitely got a down slope advantage there? Right, here comes Mars's cavalry charging those 8 upgraded cataphracts in there. Look, bang, as he smashes in there. Oh my gosh. I think Naacal here, I think he's going to do well to hold. If they keep charging those cavalry in, and there's chariots there as well. He hasn't committed the chariots yet, but those chariots, make no mistake, will be taking morale away from our troops there. Okay? But if you notice there, can you see Yoek still left his cavalry in there fighting? And that's very unusual. I mean, that is a very aggressive move there, but those cavalry have got a good chance of starting to rout now. There you are. You can see a couple of them starting to rout there, and you can see another cavalry unit going to charge in there. You can see the enemy cavalry there locked and loaded. You can see them charging in there, and you can see our Scythian ally JGP charging his headhunting maidens in as well. Just look at this, look, bang, as a Seleucid cavalry goes in, and bang, as a headhunting maidens charging as well. Oh my god, could this be the make or break of the battle at this point here, in the early stages of this battle? Could this be where the battle is decided? Let's pause the game for a second here. So you've got some of the Brutii cavalry of Naacal. You've got the headhunting maidens with their effective against armor axes there. You've got the Seleucid cataphracts with their 8 upgrades in, crashing into the maidens. Just look at the difference in size between the cataphracts there and the headhunting maidens. If you just look at the difference in size there, you can see how big those cataphracts are. But this is a massive battle here, make no mistake. And as I say, could this be a decisive part of the battle here at the early stages of this battle? As you can see the headhunting maidens there, you can see Naacal throwing in some of his cavalry as well, but you can see the enemy have definitely got higher ground advantage there, so they're going to have the down slope advantage there. Okay, you can see I'm moving my Carthage army over towards Barclayman there. And what I'm starting to think here is my team has got so much pressure on the other flank. You can see some of his cavalry have just taken out my slingers there. But I'm just thinking there's so much pressure on the other flank here, I may well be forced into attacking Barclayman here. Here you can see a lot of Lando's SBQR infantry. He suffered a lot of casualties there, and you can see the pikes of FirstPrime moving in on him there. Now this is a good position of his archers here to shoot into the flank of those Seleucid pikemen, but they also could be exposed to chariot and cavalry hit there, couldn't they? But make no mistake, you can be shooting loads of arrows into those Seleucid pike units there. Okay, so as I say, over at this particular part of the battlefield here, As I say, could this be a decisive early part of the battle? There you are. I think you can see Mars is now moving his pikes into the fray as well. Can you see Mars's pikes coming in behind there? Oh my gosh. We've got headhunting maidens and we've got Brutii infantry and cavalry in there trying to fight those Seleucid cataphracts there. Right, here comes the pikes of Mars. That's a good thing for our team to back their cavalry off now. We don't want to fight, we don't want our cavalry to fight anti-cavalry pikes there. But as you can see, my team is under a heck of a lot of pressure over on the right flank and right centre there. As you can see, under a heck of a lot of pressure. Now just look here, look. You can see this part of the battlefield. Just look how high up on the ground they are there. Can you see the high ground advantage that they got with those long pikes? And our guys were trying to fight up the slope there against those long pikes, and those Seleucid cataphracts smashing into us as well. Oh my gosh. That could have possibly been a decisive part. Both teams have been weakened there. I can see a lot of Seleucid cataphracts were taken out, but also we lost a lot of our infantry and cavalry as well. Okay, meanwhile over here you'll see that the Seleucid units of Yoek and FirstPrime are moving in to Lando's SBQR infantry. As I say here, you can see these guys are still carrying their bows, so they've still got archer ammunition there to shoot into those Seleucid pike units. Okay, so that could, as I say, cause a lot of casualties to those pike units there. But for me, I think I need, starting looking at my team over there, I think I'm going to have to start thinking about attacking Barclayman on this flank. And if I can take out those Seleucid pikes, I could then take my army back over to the other flank and help my allies there against the pressure that they are definitely under. And with that higher ground advantage that the enemy team have got as well, by the rock, that's going to make things even more difficult for us. But it's make no mistake, it's a grinding down battle over here. You can see all those cataphracts there ready and willing to be charged in. But as I say, here it's kind of like a grinding down battle there. With the Seleucid pikes and those Silver Shield Legionnaires fighting Lando's infantry. Okay, so it really is a grinding down matter there. And as I say, you can see Mars is taking position there on that higher ground by the side of the rock there. You can see the archers of JGP here, his chosen archers, shooting arrows into those pikes there. JGP's got a horse archer unit there as well, shooting into them. Okay, let's pause the game for a second. Right, okay, so here now I've decided I'm going to attack Barclayman's pike units here. And as I say, what I'm thinking is if I can take them out, I could then turn my Carthage army over to the right flank. Now, if you notice here, can you see how my troops are moving forward? Now, if you look on a lot of RTW maps, the tree trunks are very thick. In a lot of RTW maps, when you go into the forest, the tree trunks are very thick. But if you look at these tree trunks, they're very thin. Now, the reason I say that is because when you attack, your troops run into the tree trunks, and that stops your charge bonus, disrupts your battle line as well. But because the tree trunks on this map are so thin, I don't think I'm going to be troubled too much by that. Okay, those of you that play RTW know what I mean. On other battle maps, you see massively thick tree trunks that really does hold your troops up, causes problems with your charge bonus, messes your battle line up. But these tree trunks are very thin, so that's why I'm going to advance into Barclayman there. Make no mistake there, Barclayman's positioned his troops in those woods there, hoping that those trees are going to hamper my attack. Okay, over here, oh my gosh, you can see the Seleucids are really pushing in on to Lando's SBQR army. I mean, I could see them like almost surge attacking into the SBQR army. Right, now here comes the chariots and cataphracts there. They could come around the flank of Lando's army here. As I say, the archers of Lando were very exposed there, I thought, to chariot and cavalry hits. Now this is a nice move. Mars has got this pike unit. I think he's brought it round wide round our team here possibly, and has got that pike unit in behind Lando's cavalry. And by the reaction of Lando, which isn't anything here, I don't think Lando spotted this pike unit coming in behind him. I mean, probably, I mean, it surprised us all. but I'm thinking that's a weakened pike unit, so if Lando does see it, he could probably turn his cavalry onto it and probably rout it there. Remember, Seleucid morale is very poor. So, as I say here, but the cavalry and chariots here of the Seleucids could, if they position themselves right, charge into the infantry of Lando or the cavalry of Lando there, possibly. But look how those Seleucids are really pressing into Naacal and Lando's infantry there. I think Naacal's holding well here, bearing in mind, look, you can see the enemy have got the higher slope there. Just look at those long pikes. If Naacal tries to fight up those slopes against those long pikes there, I mean, that would be a very tall order to do that. But here, as I say, I'm advancing my Carthaginians into these Seleucid pike units here. Okay, as I say, make no mistake, Barclayman's positioned his army there in the hope that those trees are going to hamper my attack strategy there. But because those tree trunks are so thin, I should be okay. Notice here how Barclayman has got his cavalry and chariots in behind us. His infantry are there, look, but he's brought his chariots and cavalry in behind us here. Okay, and he's got his archers there shooting into the rear of my Carthaginians as well. Okay, you can see him doing that. But as I say, he's got his chariots and cavalry in behind us here. So we need to be very careful there, because a smash into the rear of our tired, engaged troops there could cause a possible rout. So we need to be very, very careful with that. That's a very good move of Barclayman, getting that those cavalry and chariots in behind us, and he can look at the targets that he can hit. He can hit Lando's SPQR troops. He can smash into the back of Naacal's troops here. But as I say, just look at the pressure that Lando is under from the Seleucids there. Just look at that pressure. You can see a cavalry unit here, look, going to charge. I think of Mars there, look, and bang, and it smashes in there. Nice hit there by Mars. The rest of his cavalry there is locked and loaded there, look. He's ready. He's probably going to take those archers out now, look. He's got a chariot unit there as well. See the cavalry charging and probably take them out. JGP is going to have to be very, very careful how he uses his headhunted maidens. As I say, with all these Seleucid pikes around the battlefield there, he's going to have to be very careful. Right, I want to show you a tactical move here by Lando, which I thought was really good. Can you see how he's brought his 4 cavalry away from the other flank? He knows he doesn't want to fight the cataphracts there, so he's brought his cavalry over to my flank. Now what his thinking is here, I'm thinking, he's going to help me take out these Seleucids quickly. Okay, you're going to get in behind these Seleucids, I think, and smash into them while I'm engaged in the front. So we're going to have a hammer and anvil attack, is what I'm thinking here. And then if I can take the Seleucids out, I can then take my army over to the other flank and help my allies out. That's what I think Lando's thinking here by bringing his cavalry over here. Okay, it's a bit of a risk because he's left his infantry now exposed to possible cavalry attack by enemy troops. But this gamble could well work out. If you notice here, I left a reserve amount of Carthage Sacred Band units to take on any cavalry or chariots that might try coming in behind my units there. But the bulk of my force, as you can see, is pushing into those Seleucid pikes. But as I say, watch out for Lando's hammer and anvil attack here. Looking at the positioning of his cavalry, I think he's going to smash into the back of those engaged Seleucid pikes, and this could be a classic hammer and anvil attack. Of course, my Carthaginians being the anvil and Lando's cavalry being the hammer, and in they go, and bang, as they smash in there. Nice hammer and anvil attack there. You can see that Barclayman's moved some of his pike units away from the main part of the battle there. Okay, there, but you can see Barclayman's got that chariot unit in behind Naacal's infantry. Make no mistake, he's going to crash in there like a bang! Now what Barclayman is hoping is that this chariot unit's going to run amok. That's what he wants there, because chariots seem to be more powerful when they run amok, and he'd love that chariot to run amok amongst our troops and start chopping our troops down there. As I say, they seem to be more powerful in amok mode than they do in normal mode. But over here you can see a lot of Lando's SPQR troops. He's starting to retreat, some of them there, because they're under so much pressure from FirstPrime there, I think, and Yoek's infantry there pressing against him. So actually, in effect, if you look here, our right flank has now been broken. Okay, if you notice there, Lando's withdrawn his troops from our right flank, so our right flank has now been broken, and all these troops here are now available to roll us up from right to left. Can you see that? They're all available there to roll us up from right to left there. And as I say, JGP is going to have to be so careful with his experimental army there. Now that chariot unit that Barclayman threw in has done exactly what he wanted it to, and it is now running amok amongst our troops. And as I say, they seem to be more powerful in amok mode, and make no mistake, that amok chariot will be chopping down our men left, right and centre there. You can see it moving around. It's so random when they're in amok mode. They just hit anything that's near them, including their allies' troops as well. But as you can see, the position of this amok chariot is amongst our troops, so we're suffering the casualties from that. Okay, here I can see Seleucid unit there, Yoek's general unit there has moved through our battle line. Okay, so we've got some good news for our team here. My Carthaginians have managed to rout the bulk of Barclayman's army. So what I'm going to do is there's still some Seleucid pike units there, but I'm going to ignore those, and I'm going to take my Carthaginians over to the other flank, where I think the decisive part of the battle is going to be decided on that other flank there. Okay, you can see the enemy, as I say, got the higher ground there. Most, I believe, of Lando's army has been routed. A great deal of Naacal's army has been routed as well, although I think he's got some units hiding in the trees there. But you can see there, I'm running my Carthaginians over to that other flank. I'm ignoring what's left of Barclayman's units here, and because I think, as I say, the decisive part of the battle is going to be on the other flank. So you can see me running my Carthaginians over to the other flank there. That's a good move there by JGP. I think he's just taken out Yoek's general. Right, so you can see my Carthaginians arriving on the other side of the battlefield there. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you can see that Lando's general has just been taken out. And as I said, for all intents and purposes, our right flank has now been broken, and these Seleucid troops will look to roll us up from right to left. Okay, there's another unit of Lando's broken there. As I say, I believe Naacal's got some infantry units, fresh infantry units, hiding in the trees there. You can see that Lando's got his archers there. I don't know whether they've run out of arrows. No, they've still got their bows, so they've still got arrows. They can shoot into the Seleucid pikemen there. But you can see, I can see Seleucid cataphracts at the back there. So as I say, I'm running my Carthaginian army over as fast as I can to the other flank. There's that amok chariot there, still causing mayhem and death there amongst our troops. But as I say, I'm now moving my my sacred band spearmen over towards the enemy troops there. Now, as I said before, Carthage sacred bands seem to punch above their weights when they fight these 121 man pike units there. So that's why I wanted to get my spearmen over as fast as I could here. You can see Naacal bringing a couple of his units in behind my Carthaginians there to help with the attack. Now I need to be aggressive here. That's what I think. I need to be really aggressive. So you will see my Carthaginians moving forward there in battle line against those Seleucid pikes. There's a close-up of the action there. The long Seleucid pikes against the short spears of my Carthaginians. But look how my Carthaginians are slowly grinding down those Seleucids there. Of course, I've got Naacal's infantry in there as well. Carthage and Rome working together are a very powerful combination, especially attacking these big 121 man units. Just look at the grinding down there going on. The long pikes of Seleucid there against my Carthaginians. Oh my gosh, there's cataphracts there of Mars. Now, could these change the course of the battle here? Those cataphracts there, if they smash into the flank or rear of my engaged Carthaginians, could they cause a mass rout? You see what I mean? If they smash into the back of my engaged Carthage spearmen, it could start a mass rout there. Oh my gosh. That could change the whole course of the battle. Over here you'll see Barclayman's pikemen there fighting a couple of Naacal's units. And here you can see JGP just itching to throw those headhunting maidens into the rear of those pikes. But as I say, at the moment those cataphracts could charge into us there. As I say, over here you've got all these Seleucid troops that could be brought into the flank of my Carthaginians there. I think I'm already being flanked there by Yoek's Silver Shield Legionnaires. There you are. Can you see his Silver Shield Legionnaires are attacking the flank of my Carthaginians there as I'm trying to press in to the pikes of the Seleucids there. But oh my gosh, as I say, those cataphracts there, if they charge into the rear of my engaged spearmen there, could this change? Could this be a battle-changing cavalry charge? We just have to see. There goes the cataphracts going in now. You can see Morris charging the cataphracts in to the rear of my units there, and bang as they charge in there. Oh my gosh, just look at all those cataphracts there charging into the flank. I've turned spear units to face the threat of those cataphracts coming in. Make no mistake about that. I've turned units to face the threat. So those cataphracts will be charging into my spearmen here. Here you can see Lando doing a good thing with his cavalry. He's brought his cavalry around the other side of that rock, okay, and has charged his cavalry into the rear of those engaged Seleucid pikemen there. And between us, we've done a hammer and anvil attack again, and have routed a lot of them there. But as I say, the cataphracts really pushing in here. You can see Naacal's got his infantry involved here. You can see here that JGP's axemen. How many of you have seen Scythian axemen before? There you are, there's Scythian axemen there. As I say though, unfortunately, no matter how many upgrades you put on them, they just can't seem to cut it on the 31k battlefield. Those axes are not effective against armour, just to let you know. So, as I say, very poor infantry there, but JGP's using them the best that he can. Right, so here you can see, I think the Seleucid general's just been routed, the hammer and anvil attack. My spearmen being the anvil and Lando's cavalry being the hammer there. Okay, you can see my Carthage troop have routed most of the Seleucid pikemen that they were coming up against, but now I'm going to have to turn my spearmen now to face those Seleucid pikemen coming up. There's a unit there. As I say, Seleucid morale so poor, it wouldn't surprise me if that unit routed. There you go. As I say, it's away from his general. They're surrounded by enemy troops. The morale dropped and the unit routed there. But anyway, you can see my Carthaginians now have got the downslope advantage there. Can you notice that? If you notice the ground here, we've got the downhill slope there, where you can see the short spears of my Carthaginians there grinding down that Seleucid pike unit. And it looks, I think the enemy team are starting to admit defeat at this stage of the battle. You'll see I'm sending half my army over to help deal with those pike units of Barclaymans that are still over there, as you can see. I think JGP tried hitting them with his headhunting maidens, but Barclayman turned his units in time and caused them a few casualties. There you are, you can see me running my Carthaginians over there. And as I say, JGP moving his headhunting maidens around the battlefield very skillfully there. But as I say, it looks like our team has managed to go on to win the battle. And what a spread out battle it is in some ways. Over here, as I say, you could see this is where my Carthaginians were taking on Barclayman's Seleucid army in amongst the trees. As I say, he tactically put his pikemen in those trees there, hoping that those trees would mess up my attack line and stop my charge bonus there. But as I say, those tree trunks are so thin, I don't think they had a big effect on my spearmen as they were moving forward there. Over here that you can see, there's been a lot of cavalry battles with the Scythian headhunting maidens there. You can see there, and I can see some SBQ cavalry of Lando's here, and there's the horse archers there. If you notice there, they've drawn their swords because, of course, they've run out of arrows, and of course they've been alt-attacked by JGP by the looks of it, possibly there, and they've drawn their swords because, as I say, they've shot all their arrows. As we move over to this part of the rock here, as I say, this was a very good place for the Seleucids to get. Oh, look, there's a flying soldier up there. I think he's from the parachute corps. But here, as I say, you can see the higher ground there, and just look at the dead here. I mean, this was where that massive cavalry battle was at the beginning of the battle, if you remember. And as we move across this slope, just look at that carpet of dead there. You can see a lot of dead Seleucid cataphracts there, amongst a lot of our dead troops as well. As we move along the battlefield here, just look at the mass of dead there. As I say, fighting 4 Seleucid armies, how rare is that? And I hope, you know, for our 900th battle, it's something that will be memorable when you think about 4 Seleucid armies there for our 900th. But I mean, just look at it. Of course, this is where Lando's army held really well against massive Carthage Seleucid attack there. So he did really well. But you can see a lot of dead SBQR troops there. So as I say, here you can see, I think Lando's got one unit left. I think he might have some rallied units left around the battlefield as well, but he's got one unit that's actually fighting there at the end of the battle. There you are. He's got some rallied units there over at the back of the battlefield there. So, but as I say, that I think that could be quite a close battle. I see Naacal's still got some troops left there. And as I say, JGP, I think, handled his experimental Scythian army extremely well there, moving those headhunting maidens, those fast-moving headhunting maidens around the battlefield. Okay, so the first thing I'd like to say is really well played to everybody in this 900th battle of ours. And I was really surprised to see a clear victory, bearing in mind what happened to us on the right flank and right centre there, where they broke through. And unusually, the highest kills in the game goes to my old Carthage army there. Managed to get over 2,000 kills, so very pleased with that. And I think that Carthage battle formation from all those years ago still was effective. So well done to FirstPrime, got over 1,000 kills with his Seleucid. Massive army he's got there, isn't it? Good kills. If you look at Yoek there, another massive army there, quite a big size army there with his Seleucid troops. Barclayman got a big size army there as well. You can see how big, you know, with those big 121-man pike units, you can see how big the armies are that they've bought. And if you look at the kills, though, you'll see that even with those massive armies, most of them were under 1,000 kills there. So they might be a little bit disappointed. But it was really interesting, I thought, fighting 4 Seleucid armies there. Very rare. Well done to JGP. Make no mistake, that was an experimental Scythian army there, and I think to get over 1,000 kills he did well. Well done to Lando. Look at that, 1,861 kills. I bet a lot of those were his archers, the archer kills there on the Seleucid pikes, and of course the use of his cavalry. And well done to Naacal as well, got over 1,000 kills. He did really well as well there, so really well done there. But as I say, for our 900th battle, I thought this was interesting. Do you think that either team had faction advantage? They have 4 Seleucid armies there with pikes, chariots and heavy cavalry there. And look at the numbers in each one of their armies. So do you think that they, with their 4 Seleucid armies, had a faction advantage? Or us with Carthage, Scythia, Rome and Rome, do you think we had a faction advantage? Please leave your comments and thoughts in the comments section, please. It's always interesting to read what your thoughts are. And I'll just say, I never thought we'd get to 900 battles when I first started this channel. I mean, it's unbelievable, isn't it? 900 YouTube battles. And I hope you've enjoyed them all. And I always look forward to reading your comments on our battles. It's very interesting to see what you think of our battles. Spartan Commander saying bye for now.